Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler are here on this extremely rainy day. I hate the rain.
Yeah.
Because it makes me want to wear shoes because I don't want my feeties to get wet. And then but I don't like, in here I like to wear flip-flops.
Yeah.
And plus it's hot. And then my feet get wet. It's just a mess. Absolute mess.
You know what's a mess? The damn acorns that fall out
I
of
hate the acorns.
My oak trees.
They fall.
Here too,
They can dent your car. Those things fly.
I have so many acorns in the, where your windshield and your windshield wiper area is?
Yeah.
It's just filled with acorns.
To the brim, yeah.
To the brim. And then my trunk is
I like it when you
acorn.
leave them there and then they just start sprouting little trees.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah, it will happen.
I literally...
You got to clean those out, man, so they don't rattle around.
Oh, yeah, they're falling off. I had an acorn hit me in the head.
Yeah, it hurts.
From the top of a tree.
Yeah.
And it felt like someone, like a strong man, used his strong index finger and then just
tap.
He like, tang!
Yeah, like right on the top. Yeah,
like a flick.
Remember you and I were
walking.
Sam and I were walking back from Publix and one just goes dink right on my head and I'm like,
It's
like, it hurts.
How did it hurt that much at the tiny acorn?
You know why it hurts? I'll tell you why it hurts, and then I'll end with this. You want to know why it hurts? Because on the tippy top, the egg end of an acorn, there's a little tiny nibby stick stub. Like a little nicky stick stub, like a tiny little elevated, where it was attached to the branch. And that's all it takes. That, with enough force, when it hits you in the head, makes you a snowflake baby. Because I got hit with one, and I'm like, oh.
I was raking them up in my front yard.
Don't rake them.
And then putting it, and I have a
barrel.
barrel.
To blow them down the gutters. That's what Buddy Dyer says. You blow them everything in the sewers. That's what they're for.
So anyway, the internet is filled with fake videos, and
fake news.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, okay, so obviously everybody knows viral videos, and then in an effort to make viral videos, people just faked. It's kind of like what we did with Trombone Tees. We just took all the things that we saw that were working in viral videos and like smushed them together and just put out some absurd thing, and then it did work. But I think that's what people are trying to do now with any sort of falling. It's like, on America's Funniest Home Videos, you'll see one every once in a while and you're like, that's fake, that was staged.
Yeah.
And they just use it anyway. They probably know it, but they're just like, whatever, it's good enough. It'll make someone laugh for a couple seconds of throwaway.
I don't think that they care that much.
Yeah. As long as
it still has an entertainment value.
Yeah. So anyway, I saw this recent, and this was more of a clip that was circulating Facebook, and then it turned into memes, and then
you find a lot of these that I don't find. So it makes me think
his algorithm's different.
But it makes me think that
I don't erase anybody. I'm telling you, my Facebook's a hot garbage.
No, I don't have any. I don't have anybody blocked anymore because of what you said. Earlier on I did, but now I don't. But if you go and you look at mine, I guess I don't scroll enough through normal Facebook, because normally all I see are like our groups.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah.
And Peloton stuff. That's about all I see.
Probably because you post and react and stuff to those more, so you're going to see those more.
Okay.
If you're not liking and commenting on people's personal posts, then you're probably going to see less of those.
I don't really do much of that.
I don't comment or like on anybody's posts except
so you
for
get everything.
But you hover over it and they know you're watching it.
Okay,
if it's a video.
Yeah, they know you're clicking it. So anyway, you get good videos though, man. I got to tell you.
I don't know
the good stuff.
You
know the one that really hurt my feelings that you got before me is Afro Man knocking that lady down. Like that one was great.
I don't know why. It must be the algorithm or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so I saw this video, and now my new thing is I look at it and I'm like, can I determine using rational thought and logic and motivation
and a little common sense,
camera angles, and and looking at the situation is like, is this real or staged? And then so the recent one I saw was old man falls off bike ramp in some sort of road bike race in a foreign country. This is all what I garnered from this one little clip, right? So I'll set up the clip for you, Daniel. You got it.
I'll pull it up for you.
It's violent. Although you don't see the fall. Okay, so Here's the clip. So it starts out where it looks like the beginning of some sort of European road bike race.
Yeah.
And road bike, I mean like a road bicycle. And there's an old man, and on some of these races, they start you out individually, and then you're on a little kind of ego ramp where it's like, it's usually like an arm that raises or a judge that lets you go, and then you go down the little tiny ramp. And then,
this is a time trial setup.
Okay, yeah, time trial road bike race, and the ramp is about, I would say, maybe 10 foot long.
Yeah, when you race like this,
foot.
you don't race in the peloton. You do it singularly.
Yeah. So
and
just time.
Yeah, it's just time. So this was actually one of my favorite parts of the Tour de France or any road bike race are the time trials. They're cool.
And so it starts
These guys
out
fly.
where this guy is not even that high. He's maybe like the ramp is 5 to 6 foot in elevation and maybe 10 foot long. And then what you could see is there's an old man. He's on a bicycle, and he's got full, like, road bike gear.
Yeah.
So, like, the quintessential what a bicyclist, a professional bicyclist.
He's got
wearing,
like his kit. He's got
the
like
whole
his,
kit. The full helmet.
He's got the
glasses.
Wind-resistant glasses with the iridium lenses.
So he's putting off that he is a professional or used to be a professional or is some, there's no context to any of this. It's just this is where it starts, right? So,
and I have no idea what's going to happen because I'm looking at by the way, it's from Reddit, which is a hellhole.
Yeah.
And it says 89-year-old cyclist proving that age is just a number. So that's all it says. I can see that the clip is 12 seconds long. So if you're wanting me to play amateur detective, by the way, I have not seen this. I only heard you mention it yesterday. That's why I knew of it. My algorithm apparently is effed. I don't get any of the fun stuff.
I don't, and then I'll let you watch it.
Okay,
and
ready?
Then I'll analyze it further after that.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
I'm pressing play.
Yeah. Does it have audio?
It does have audio.
Okay.
I'll make sure it's
okay. Here we go. Old
4,
man.
3, 2, 1, 0. That's it.
Now, the audio that we heard, that was somebody else watching the video, right? Because somebody started laughing like immediately, which is a terrible thing to do. Because you might want to explain what the video is.
I don't think that's fake.
Okay, let's analyze it.
Because he could potentially get very hurt.
So
you don't want
I'll
to land on your
explain.
neck.
The judge says go, and then instead of like rolling down the ramp to start the race, he rolls right off.
I was trying so hard to not do it.
He immediately takes a hard left because he has no momentum at first. So on a bicycle, like when you have no momentum, your front wheels.
Oh, Maisie does it all the time. Her favorite thing now is to go as slow as she can until she falls over.
Yeah, you need momentum to go straight. Anyway, so he goes right off the side of the ramp, and he doesn't even try to like jump off the bike or anything. He's too old. So he nosedives, and the camera angle though is straight on, and there's some sort of camera equipment or big box to the right of him. So when he falls off, you do not see him actually hit the ground. Then the camera runs over and shows the old man.
And he's kind of crumpled up,
and
like fetal position.
He looks like he's dead, maybe, or like he looks like he's at least
Let me
unconscious.
try it one more time.
And the way that it looked like he fell, it looked like he just went straight from over his handlebars onto his head.
That's what.
Like speared his head into the asphalt.
I think this is real. I'm gonna go watch it again. Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah.
He's 89 years old, by the way, according to the video.
Okay, right after that, boom, right on his head.
I think that's real, dude.
I think it's real, and people are saying that it's been around for a minute.
Oh, okay. So now here's the thing. I don't mean to be insensitive or whatever. I don't know what's real or fake. I'm just doing this because I do this to all videos. But so my initial reaction was it was fake, and here's why. Because there was one camera angle. They don't actually show him hitting. So then I was like, I mean,
if you follow the video, you can see pretty much a piece of his bike and like a limb flying.
Yeah,
like
something goes
I
clang.
mean, there is some obstruction there, but the way it's a fluid motion and there's no cuts in it. That looks pretty real to me.
It did look real to me and violent, and then but the fact that it was real short and there was a lot of like.
Well, they probably thought he was dead. They cut the video.
Well, I did, but there's no other.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of with Tom. Like we live in a world now where.
There's no context.
Yeah,
at
there's
all.
always clips, and you never see the before, and you never see the after. Now, again, I'm not getting political in any way.
I mean, this
but
could
both
be...
sides during this last election, you would see little clips, and I saw them of like things that happened, but there was no context. It's like, well, what is that, and when did it happen, and what year, and why?
Yeah. First, what year was this? Also, why was this old man competing? 89 years old competing in this. Was this an old man race? Well, all old men. Why did they put? If this was an old man race, why did they put a ramp? Why didn't?
Well, no, time trials you always have that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's just the setup.
Okay,
that's not something that you wouldn't not have.
Gotcha. Okay, so then I was like, why?
And it's actually not as steep as they normally are.
Why isn't there anyone that sees this happen, tries to rush and grab him or save him in any way? You know, it seemed like it just happened. Then
it does
everybody
seem like
reacted.
nobody cares.
Okay, so he's actually 70 years old, not 89 like it says.
Okay, so
yeah, busted. You win.
Oh no,
And it's the UCI Gran Fondo World Series.
Okay.
It was real. I mean, he did fall.
Okay, so this actually happened. All right, so then I was wrong with that. It wasn't staged.
This is also a woman.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So,
I apologize, man.
so this is a 70-year-old woman.
Chantal Mathavet. She's a French woman.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It's hard now.
Clang!
Was she really hurt? Because now I feel
Now
bad.
I'm trying to.
I won't laugh again.
Read
If
through.
yeah, you will.
She did not get up and finish the race, ending her time trial season with a DNF.
It did not fall. That's she did not get a did not fall. She did not finish.
All right, so I was
Tracy Claus in our Twitch chat room goes, poor Nana.
I was right in one aspect where this was falsely presented to us.
I think you can say. I think you can make your claim.
But
now.
the fall was real.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I think you can make your claim. It's a fake video because they wanted you to believe that it was this grandiose story of this 89-year-old person who, you know,
still 70 years old. I mean,
but 70 and 89 are way different.
And I think it wouldn't have been as popular because it's funnier to laugh at an 89-year-old man falling on his head than a 70-year-old woman. Seriously,
they alluded to it being a man, which is funnier than a woman. More people would be sympathetic and be like, don't pick on Nana.
Yeah, so these are the reasons I don't believe in anything I watch.
Remy chiming in. There's no way this video is fake.
Thank
you, Remy. I appreciate you chiming in from the Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
Well, we just explained that it was a 70-year-old woman, not an 89-year-old man.
Okay, you don't know.
So anyway, there's a lot of these things where I'm like immediately skeptical now because
apparently this particular race has a 65+ category.
Okay,
so that's why she was.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to be that type of older gentleman. I don't know if when I get older I'm going to increase. It is cool to see. Like my mom kind of did it, where she increased her activity as she got older.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you start.
Yeah, or you die.
You start inching toward
the ramp and you fall off.
Your body is just slowly shutting down.
And nobody cares. Just like in the video, you fall off in a crumpled heap. Nobody rushes over to save you.
It's there's so many of these out there now that it's so hard.
A lot of times it's not the video that's fake. A lot of times it's like
misleading.
The biggest one that I've seen in modern times that was scary about misinformation was the massive was it fertilizer that had not been disposed of correctly that was underneath that area in
Lebanon?
Was it Lebanon?
No,
it wasn't Lebanon. The big explosion. Remember the super crater that happened in the middle of the city?
Recently? Yes, it was Lebanon, I believe.
So that one, my Facebook feed popped up and I see the video and you can recognize the video just by its clip or its thumbnail rather.
Yeah.
And then there were like at least 5 to 6 different stories that people had made up about what was happening. Like one of them was a terrorist attack. One of in the States. One of them was like this happened in the middle of Germany. One was
people were saying it was different locations.
And that's insane to me. Like I don't know what that switch was that made that fun to do, but I don't remember ever when I was, not to sound like old man, but it was never fun to be like, oh, look what I'm gonna,
okay.
Like I don't have time for that. I don't have time to tell Samantha something inaccurate. I only have time to tell her the accurate stuff.
I got this high theory the other day that tell me if this is just me being too high or if there's any relevance in it whatsoever, right?
Too high.
And I'm not getting I'm not getting political at all. But so I thought to myself, we always talk about it, everybody's talking about, and then there's a documentary about it on Netflix about social media and the news,
the social dilemma,
and everybody, all the stuff we're dealing with now, right? And the dissension and everybody mad at each other, yelling at whatever. So I thought about this. I was like, pre-social media, everybody was in their own bubble. Like, because we're all talking about, and I was railing against this on social media, like everybody, unfollowing people they don't agree with, and then only looking at news they agree with, and everybody is confirmation bias,
and collective confirmation,
and everybody's in their own bubble, and they're just getting rid of any opinions.
Preach to the choir. Yeah,
they don't think, So then it's like everybody thinks how scary that is. They were like, oh man, we should not do that. That seems not good for all of us. But then I was like, well, back 20 years ago, this was like this. Everybody was in their own bubble pre-social media and the internet because they lived in their own bubble, and you only talk to your friends. And I started thinking about this.
Well, you didn't share as much, so you had less to disagree on. So if you don't share as much, then, like if Samantha, and to her credit, she's a very private person, but without social media, she's a lot more private.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And you're only going to talk to your friends. And then I was looking at my pop-up.
I'm sorry I keep using you as an example. It's just you're on this side. Yeah.
Back...
And I don't want to use Tom anymore. I'm sick of him.
15, 20 years ago, I used to go and hang out with at my pop-up's house, and all his old man friends would come over at beer 30, and they drink beer, and we sit down and I'd listen to them talk and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. What they believe is, like way, different. And we'd laugh at it, but that's what they would all talk about and stuff. But it wasn't on social media. It was just in my pop-up's backyard.
But I think most people actively say that it sounds nicer. It may not be, because in this way, what you're describing, it can be a useful tool to maybe find people that you don't necessarily want to be around or hang out with, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Depending on what they share. You don't necessarily have to get into a fight with them, but of course, if you see what they're about, you don't have to be with them.
But they would only talk to the people that believed what they believed, and everybody was doing that everywhere,
So your point is we're just doing what we were doing,
right?
Well,
what I'm saying is when social media and the internet, and we're dealing with it right now we're hearing those conversations, and we should never have heard them to begin with.
For 1
second. We didn't want to hear them.
Remy chiming in again from the Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomAndDan Live. Remy says, social media is key.
All right. Thanks, Remy, for chiming in on that. You really opened up my perspective on this.
He's jumping in. He's helping your argument.
Yeah, thanks, Remy. So anyway, I was like, so now we're listening to all these conversations and people's opinions that we never would have before because... Right. And
then we're arguing with those people. So my point is, you could choose. Back on the day, it would have been better.
So now we're seeing this, everybody wanting to go back to just talking. We're seeing different social medias pop up that people want to be involved in because they're like, that's what I want to just talk to everybody who thinks the same way I do. And I'm like... At first, I got scared. I was like, "Whoa, that doesn't seem good." But then I was like, "Well, that's what everybody was doing before, so it's fine."
So you're just saying we're just evolving.
We're just regressing back to what we were doing before, which seemed to be working. All of us talking to each other.
I wouldn't use the word working.
Well, think
it was happening.
Yes, but think about it. 25 years ago, this all was happening anyway. And we just weren't seeing it, so we were oblivious to it. We're just like,
but
okay,
that's not a good thing.
No,
whether they're good or bad, I'm not saying
it
that
falls under the ignorance is bliss category, right? I think that's where you put it. And to some people right now, I can see where that would sound attractive.
To them. Yeah, for sure.
I can see that.
It seems like most of the turmoil that's happening is just listening and to other people's conversation or viewpoints that normally would have never heard, but they always existed. It's just now we hear them, and that's probably the biggest problem, and causing so much arguments and yelling.
And again, it's not even real to some people. Like I like what you said a couple of weeks ago, and I've been reminding myself of it when I interact with human beings day to day. Now, granted, we're all interacting with human beings probably on a little bit less than we typically would be. This time last year, it was a completely different story, right? But now, when I interact with people day to day, like whether I'm at the grocery store or doing different things, I almost never have a problem. Ever.
Yeah, real life.
It's all great.
Because
now I'm not saying the world is great, and I'm not saying there's not hardships and sadness.
You're not going to bring up politics to your neighbor or anything. Like, you never talk. It's
I don't care.
Hey, don't talk about politics at Thanksgiving dinner, or don't talk about whatever. Just have the BS small talk sports or whatever the hell.
Can we talk about Thanksgiving for a second?
And then you leave. You don't want to hear what your Uncle Randy thinks, or you don't want to hear what your 18-year-old cousin thinks about the world. It's like nobody's ever meant to hear that. Just everybody go back into their own bubbles, and then it'll be fine. Because I don't think, like, obviously the best way the world would be is if everybody talked to each other in a civilized, rational way and understood people's difference of opinions, and we all were smart enough to understand that everybody has different opinions, and that's okay, and let's move forward to make all of our lives better, right? That ain't gonna happen. People I don't think, are capable of doing that. Go back to your own bubbles, and then we just, that's it. I think it's what it was before. Because think about it. No one ever heard the different conversations or what people thought about anything. You just lived in your neighborhood, you hung out with your friends, and that was it.
Well, there was a certain level of, like, ignorance that I could see that my dad had about mainly things that were computer-like. You very much remind me of, like you and Dad are exactly the same person on the old laptop, right? And there was something really nice about that. There was, like, when I would watch him, and he didn't like it. He didn't hate it, but it wasn't his thing, right?
Yeah. He didn't grow up with this. Why, he's not used to it.
The way that he went about his life seemed a lot more stable and like kind of just like nice, without being linked to all these strange electric devices. Like he barely had a cell phone. It's like a flip-up phone. And it was nice.
Well, we're never going back there.
I know.
Because the next generation is literally growing up now with personal computing devices that are only going to get better and better and better. And that I was looking at the way it used to be, and I was like, well, everybody was in their own bubble anyway, and no one was talking to each other back then because you only talk to like-minded people. Now we're talking to a bunch of people that we normally would never talk to, and it's creating a lot of...
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't agree with any of this. I think it's a good thing that we talk to people that we wouldn't normally talk to. That's how we learn and grow.
No,
if people all stick with our bubble.
No, he's not people are responsible. He's not saying that they shouldn't do that. He just doesn't believe that they will.
Yeah. I don't think.
Right.
I don't think.
So he's not saying the bubbles are a good thing.
Right.
No. He's just saying that it's probably the easier thing.
And it seems like we're now regressing back to there anyway, because human beings want to only talk to people they agree with. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that it seems like we're moving towards
at least for right now. Yeah.
Because talking to a bunch of people with differing opinions, it doesn't seem like it's working, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like people are like responsible enough or rational enough.
But there will be some people that will,
or mature enough.
I think as the years go on and younger people are being raised differently, I think it'll shift.
Yeah, no, I understand. The younger generation that's grown up with social media is definitely going to adapt to it a different way. I can't even predict what that's going to be. I'm just saying it looks like now that people are just like, well, screw this. I'm going to go to my own social media with a bunch of like-minded people, and that's where I feel comfortable. It doesn't matter. And then what I'm saying is that's probably what we're shifting to as a society because we can't talk to each other. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I understand. There's some really good opinions in our Twitch chat room that are almost too long for me to read. But if you, I'm really enjoying what they're saying in here. I'll just give you a couple real quick. Juan says, the big thing you're overlooking is that bad actors inject bad opinions and misinformation, but nobody wants to do anything about that. Ghost of Manute Bull says, I don't think it's not wanting to talk to people with different opinions. It's more being gun-shy about encountering someone with an extreme opinion one way or the other. I would agree with that, too. You know, I think that's where I'm at sometimes with people, and when people say things to me, it's like, I see it, and I may even disagree with what you're saying, but I'm beyond the point of even engaging with you in a discussion on social media because I've been mistreated too many times. It's also, so I just don't feel the need to engage anymore.
There are a lot of people, and like I said, this has nothing to do with politics. It's both sides.
No, this could be an argument about anything, really. Yeah. It has nothing to do. It's like just whatever you believe in. It could be anything.
We've said this before a million times.
Could be cuties on Netflix.
Don't get started.
I know.
There are a lot of people, and I believe the majority.
We're way late for our guests, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I just think by talking to them, you're not going to change. It's just they're set in their ways no matter what.
Here's my opinion, and then my opinion on this is I agree with what you're saying, but it's because social media is not the area I think to have that conversation.
Yeah.
It's the wrong playground.
With you, but it's impossible to fix
it's
at
toxic.
This point.
Yeah,
it's
but
never.
I'm just saying, I do think that people are pulling back though from a lot. At least in my circle, from what I see, it seems like a lot less people are doing social media than they were like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, it seemed like it peaked hard.
But that just leans me towards my theory anyway. This if you stop looking, you're getting back into your own bubble where everybody wants to be anyway. You just want to talk to like-minded people. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's what it's going to end up being is everybody's going to have their own social media and their own stuff and only talk to each other, which, yes, you're right, could be super dangerous, but that's where it seems to be going to me. Anyway, let's take a break. Bye-bye. With us, he's at a DoubleTree in Naples right now. And he's from thehumidor.com. Use promo code Tom and Dan if you order anything from the Humidor. They got a bunch of holiday
they always have
stuff
specials and different packs and things that he's giving away. You want a starter pack, they got it. Experienced, if you're an experienced stickman, they got that. Or if you can't find something, you can ask them about that as well.
Chris Gwaltney's on the line. What's going on, Chris?
Not much, fellas. How you guys doing?
So,
good,
Chris,
man.
I really think if you know anybody in your life that enjoys cigars, getting him a cigar, gift of some sort from thehumidor.com is always going to be a win, right? Like a couple of quality cigars for them to choose from. Like, what would you suggest if, all right, you got this uncle in your life, he smokes cigars, that's all you know about him.
Like my Uncle Hayden did.
What should I go and get him from thehumidor.com?
I mean, we've got gift sets. We've got holiday sets you can send him. You can send him the old e-card where he can, like a virtual gift card where he can go on e-commerce and buy what he wants. You can, get him some accoutrements, lighter cut or whatever. But I've never known anyone, if you don't know what kind of cigars they smoke, I've never known a person who is a cigar person who would ever look down on any cigar gift that they receive.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you would always like it.
Yeah.
It's like
right.
It's like getting me any alcohol gift.
No.
Right.
I have a out of nowhere cigar question. Sam and I were kind of looking at your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it's really good. Well done, man. It's really nice. And you guys do
Appreciate
a bang-up job on that. And I would urge all of our listeners to go and subscribe. Just search for The Humidor, I believe. Right, Sam?
I believe it's Humidor Official.
Okay. Look
Yeah.
for
The Humidor Official.
Yeah, I think it's the official humidor.
Yeah, so
think
snag
that's
that and subscribe if
Right.
you're a cigar man.
Yeah.
But I started looking at different shapes of cigars, and then I found one cigar that looks like it's 3 big fat doo-doo dreads that's twisted together into it looks like a tree branch cigar. It's huge, I think, from the picture. What is that?
That is what they call a culebra,
Yes.
which is Spanish which is snake. And basically, that's got a cool story. I'm glad you brought it up. I don't know if we've ever talked about it.
No,
But,
I saw it. I go, what the hell is that thing? I want to smoke it because it looks crazy.
right.
I'll pull
Well,
it up for Tom.
here's where it comes from. So in the cigar factories, the cigar rollers are rolling cigars and they're smoking while they're doing it. And a lot of the factories were having an issue with maybe a few too many of their premium cigars were being smoked. So what they decided was, we're going to do a special cigar for our rollers, so they're not smoking what they're rolling, and we'll be able to tell if they're smoking what we're rolling. So they would give them this Colibri, and what they would do is they wouldn't smoke all three together. They would take one out, but it would have a kind of a corkscrew effect. So if the manager or the person in charge of the rolling room were to look out and he sees someone smoking a cigar that's not that corkscrew shape, then he knew they were smoking something off the table, and then he would go there and say, "Hey, you can't be smoking what you're rolling."
Wow.
So,
And this to me, okay, now you're going to laugh, Chris, you're going to laugh at my analogy with the way that this cigar looks, but I swear to God it makes sense. This to me is the difference between buying hot dogs in a pack where they're lined up or buying them in the case where they're all attached and they just kind of lump them together.
Oh, yeah.
This looks like a fresh, it almost has like more of a natural look because they're kind of binded together like that. It's really cool looking.
Yeah, they are cool, and I mean, it's more of a gimmick thing now. I've actually got some at home. There's a lot of manufacturers make them, but it's more of kind of a gimmick or kind of a unique kind of gift item thing. But yeah, they are pretty cool. I know at J.C. Newman at the Nicaraguan trade show last year, they gave everyone a Calibra, and it was a different cigar. It's three different. It was their Maduro, their Connecticut, and their natural Brick House. And they were the three different blends all in one Calibra. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool in the fact that it's almost like for a presentation. So if you were giving like a cigar, like a ceremonial cigar gift or an award, the Calibre would be like maybe a little more impressive of a aesthetic, right?
Yeah, I think it would be cool. Especially you could take like three of your best cigars and make them into a Calibri. So you basically three different sticks. So it'd be like a sampler. It'd be a 3-stick sampler pack in one cigar, basically.
Couple of good questions coming out of the chat room. Yabba Dabba wants to know: are they just twisted together before they're cured?
Yeah, they're done. They're done like that at the. I've never seen one rolled because, like I said, it's a very niche thing. I've never seen anyone rolling them, but it's done at the table from. It's not something where they take the cigars and then twist them at the end of the process to get that shape. You would the tobacco would have to be pretty moist and pliable for you to get it in that corkscrew shape. So you wouldn't be able to like have the finished cigar ready to go and then come back later and try to twist it. So,
it's funny, like rolling a cigar sounds like so tedious and hard to me, and then looking at this, I'm like, it was like they were sitting around there like, let's make this harder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, they just get more and more technical, and then I started getting into pyramid cigars. And the way that they're shaped, I mean, it looks like a ginormous pyramid. Like I didn't realize that there were this many crazy styles of cigars.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because Chris, we were watching your YouTube channel, and go ahead and plug that for everybody because you got some good videos on there.
Yeah, it's the official humidor, and it's basically our channel for education. We basically what we wanted to do is if you go to YouTube there, if you were to go on YouTube and search for how to light a cigar, how to cut a cigar, there's a lot of content out there and a lot of people look for that content, but to me it was always kind of boring, and a lot of the educational stuff in the YouTube videos were kind of matter of fact and kind of like some of them actually downright talk down to you like you don't know what you're doing. So we wanted to kind of do our own take on the videos, provide the same information and the correct information, but kind of do it in a more fun-spirited way where people would enjoy it. And in kind of a 6-minute, we try to keep it in between that 6 and 7 minute frame point, which is like the perfect, time for YouTube videos if you look at all the YouTube analytics. So
yeah, they're quick and they're educational, and you guys kind of take the anxiety out of it in the fact that because it can be a little intimidating if you're not like really well. I mean, even for you and I, Tom, like we're not cigar guys.
Yeah.
So it would be very intimidating for me to walk down to this cigar bar and like do it without having anxiety, thinking I look like a fool.
Yeah, it's like being at the gym for the first time.
Yes.
And you're looking at the equipment.
It is exactly like that.
And you're like, I don't know how to do this. Then someone's secretly videotaping you. They put
you on like, what is it, like pump fails or something?
Yeah. And then your legs are getting swung.
I'm sure there's a cigar one somewhere where the guy's got the cigar in his eyeball and he's using the cutter on his fingernails.
So, one of your videos talks about square cigars, and when Daniel's talking about triangle cigars or pyramid cigars.
Yeah, pyramid cigars.
I didn't even know they had square cigars, but then, so let's talk about that, and, you can see a longer version on your YouTube video, but what is a square cigar, and why are they square?
Okay, well, and it's the Humidor official, not the official Humidor.
Okay.
It's my YouTube page, and I can't ever get it right. I can't ever.
No problem.
It's
that's what we
absolutely
do.
insane. So no, but basically, it's a what they call a box press cigar, square cigar, and there's a lot of people. People hate them. People love them. Some folks will say it doesn't really change the flavor profile. I think it does. I think it changes the draw a little bit for me.
Yeah.
I think some folks. I think it doesn't tighten it up. I think a little bit it does for me. So it does change the draw. But basically, what they do is they take the cigar. They don't roll it. You can't roll a square cigar that way. They all start out as round cigars or Parejo cigars, and then they put them in. Traditionally, they would put them in a box, and the quote of where you get the term box press. But now the way most places do it, they put them on these little wooden slat, like a wooden tray, and they put them on there, and then they put these little wooden pieces of little wooden slats in between them, and then put another one on top, and they put them in a vise and tighten them up really tight, and then they sit in that shape for a certain period of time, and then they just conform to the square shape. They become square. Huh. So
interesting.
Yeah, and I would tell people, I think, like I said, I think the draw on them is really, really good because to make the cigar I don't think it's a fact. When you're going to make a square cigar, they have to roll it a little looser. They have to make sure that it's not too tight, not like a finished round cigar would be, because if it were, then when they put it and they try to make it square and they put it in those slats and put it in that tray, then it would crack the wrapper and pop the wrapper. So it's loose filled a little bit, but when it becomes a square, everything kind of evens out. So I think they draw really well. Some people hate them. I think a reason why a lot of people don't like them is because they're square cigar and the head of the cigar is square. When you use a guillotine cutter and you cut that, it's kind of weird cutting a square top of a cigar with a guillotine that's round, And then what also ends up happening when you have it in your mouth and you end up rounding out rounding it out as you're smoking it, and the square becomes round, and you get little bits and pieces of tobacco in your mouth. So I always tell people, if that's the reason why you don't like a box press cigar, then either V-cut it or use a hole punch. I'm not a big fan of the hole punches. If you guys watch the video talking about hole punches, I don't like them because people damage cigars a lot with them, and the blade has to be really sharp. But this is one instance where I would say a cigar punch would be the preferred method if you didn't have a V cutter.
Now, Chris,
for boys it's cigar punch, and for girls it's hole punch. just think about that. About that.
Chris, this is probably a ridiculous question, but it seems to me it probably does exist. So, are there people out there that like smoking cigars but do not like having the actual cigar like raw in their mouth because they don't like it flaking off or anything?
So they put it in a holder?
Yeah. Like, is there some sort of Corella DeVille style plastic nub that people can put over?
If there is, I hope you start using it.
And now I know anybody that smokes cigars would laugh at this and be like, "You idiot!"
This guy put a condom on a cigar.
Yeah, everybody likes the taste. That's why But I'm thinking that maybe some sort of protector you could put on the end, so for the people that are like, I don't want to put the thing on my mouth.
I don't want the leaves to touch my lips.
Yeah. Is there something like that?
They do sell those.
Okay.
I have seen them. personally don't know why you would want one. To me, the whole point, the cigar, the whole point of the cigar is you're getting a lot of the flavor, by having a cigar in your mouth. The wrapper leaf actually physically coming in contact with your palate, right? That's what's touching you. That's what's giving you a lot of the initial taste, is the actual physical contact that your mouth is having with the wrapper in conjunction with the smoke that you're rolling around on your palate. To take that away completely changes the smoking experience. Now, I would say this. I mean, I could see maybe if you're someone who likes to smoke the cigar all the way down to the end, maybe it's a way that you could put it in there just to finish off that last little bit so you don't burn your fingers trying to smoke it if you don't have a clip or a pick. They do sell clips and picks for cigars for people that are very frugal and want to smoke it all the way down to the end. I'm usually not that way. I'll just slide up another cigar because they tend to get pretty hot. Once you get past the band and you get up and get really, really close, they get really, 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 really hot, and so they're not as pleasant.
Yeah. Gotcha. Now, second question, Chris, is with obviously a bunch of new states adopted medical marijuana or recreational marijuana in this past election, and we all have seen the green rush, as they say, and it's probably inevitable that all 50 states will eventually be all recreational. I'm pretty positive we're seeing that happen. Are there companies that are dabbling with CBD or THC infused nicotine or wrappers? I assume
to jump on the trend.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like a blunt. Obviously, I'm talking about like
I gotta go then.
Putting maybe infusing CBD or some sort of THC component in the leaf, so that when your lips touch it.
It doesn't seem like cigars or cigar manufacturers like to ride those trends as much as most people do. But
yeah.
Is it happening?
Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. I mean, you can't really do a whole lot now because it's like I said, it's not legal in every state. But there's CBD cigars. It's not a real popular thing right now. I know the major trade organization at the last trade show wouldn't allow there's a company that's specializing in CBD, not cannabis infused, but CBD cigars, and they wouldn't allow them into a trade show. But I think as things kind of change, as industries evolve, I think you'll definitely see that. If you don't get on the boat, I mean, look, there's going to be people who smoke traditional cigars and that's it. And there's going to be people who smoke cigars and consume cannabis. There's going to be people that want to do it together. So I mean, I think you'd be foolish not to be a part of the whole thing. Was it Oregon that passed all drugs? Is Oregon? Is it Oregon where everything is legal? So you can buy cocaine, but you can't buy a plastic straw. That is absolutely insane.
I just use my long fingernail because it's always on me.
I was So that's gonna be quite interesting there too. So. Way to go, Oregon.
Yeah, what a time to be alive.
It just seems like it's inevitable for there to be full-blown like THC infused cigars that people could buy one day, and like I don't even know how that work, but since they got patches and stuff, like even having it in your mouth and it would probably have an effect.
I've got CBD underwear on right now. I have no idea what's happening, but my genitals are calm as hell.
I mean, they make toothpicks and stuff that have THC in them, so for sure you can infuse the leaves. So just by smoking the cigar, you could probably absorb some THC on your lips, and then that would, there's going to be everything. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so going back to the humidor.com, if you use promo code Tom and Dan,
yes, sir,
you'll save a percentage off. And like Chris was talking, just get someone in your life a cigar gift if they're into cigars. You can't go wrong. Get them the gift card to the humidor.
And get it now. Like, don't wait. I would start shopping now because you're gonna wait. And
they got a lot of deals.
Yeah, and then you're gonna get out there when everybody else is, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you can't come in. You're social distancing, and you're screwed."
Yeah.
So get on there now.
Also, they ship nationwide.
Yes,
so
sir.
if you want to order something and have it shipped directly to that person, you can do that.
It's your fault, Sam, that I am going to start using ABC to deliver to my house. I'm
very convenient.
I'm just gonna start doing it because she says her husband like 4 times in 1 week, and I'm like, I'm doing it.
And all the cigars are shipped in a humidor bag too, so they're all fresh and everything.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Well,
that is correct, man. And like I said, our website's pretty it's pretty informative. If you don't know anything about cigars, you should be able to navigate our website and find something. We try to have as much information as we can, and go to the Humidor official.
Yeah.
And we've got some education on there. I'm getting ready to shoot some more videos.
Sweet.
We shoot those down in Boca, so we're actually doing them the week of Thanksgiving. Going to do another round of videos. So
Cool. Right on. Well,
yeah,
hey, take care of yourself, man. Stay safe traveling, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Awesome, man. You guys have a great day.
All right,
you too, Chris.
Take
See ya.
care, man.
All right.
It's always nice to talk to him.
Awesome beard. I'll never look like a man like that.
No.
No one will
No,
ever
no.
respect me like that.
No, like
because
he's
I'll always have
he looks like a Viking man.
a boyish face, and then it'll just be an old man boy face, like John Gruden. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it doesn't like John Gruden is like he looks like Chucky,
Yeah.
which is a baby doll, and there's like he looks like an old man.
Yeah,
Chucky
but he's
now.
also
All right.
like intimidating looking. He can be. I don't think you'll ever get that old man.
I think
Maybe
I
when
think
I
he
get
looks
wrinkles.
like a redneck scarecrow. Like he's
Maybe-
got that weird hair that looks like straw hair.
If I get wrinkly and become a real old man,
But
then maybe I'll get
you're not going to get
intimidated.
wrinkly until like because you have the boy face. But when you do, like for a long time. But when you do get wrinkly, it's an overnight process. It's
No,
not
it's
like me. I'm gradually getting old until I'm a gnome.
Okay, until you
You-
turn into a cherry tree.
Yeah, then Swift the fox cries.
Yeah.
I have to tell him, I'm like, no, Swift, me and Andrea must turn into apple trees. It's
Yeah.
a crazy sex. You know,
But he
yeah.
still watches.
Oh, Fox!
yeah.
Foxes always watch.
Just leave, Fox. Don't watch
I'd
the
like
atrocity.
some privacy, Swift. I'm trying to eat my wife's apple roots. I don't know what that means, but if you like David the Gnome and Tom Bosley, then you're in for a screwed up treat.
Bye-bye,
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler's here. We're inching into the holidays, and you know what that means.
What are they
Christmas bundles.
No, I don't know what it means. Oh, yeah, it does mean Christmas bundles.
Bundle
God,
everything.
Bundles.
You love bundles. You're the bundle king.
Well, I like.
You're the Castleberry bundle
All
king.
hail the bundle king.
Hey, it's me, Tom Van. I'm the Castleberry bundle king, and these bundles, they're crazy.
You gotta do the bundles. Oh yeah.
I'm Trundles for bundles.
Yeah. People love a good bundle.
I hate bundles.
I am.
Can we call them something else? Can we call them bunches? Groups? Gaggles?
bogos?
Bogos.
Yeah, but that's a buy one get one.
Yeah, that's buy one, get one.
I hate bogos too. I hate saying
Bogo?
"Oh, they got a bogo. Oh,
Do you
God.
say the full thing? Do you say buy one, get one?
Yeah.
Free? You have to say that.
Right.
My wife will be like, oh, look, Bubbly's BOGO. I mean, you mean it's buy one bubbly, get one bubbly free of charge?
I like the 2-for-1s or 3-for-1s. I'm going bar or fireworks. I don't like bundles or buy one bogos. They always use that in retail or grocery. Just go for 2-for-1, 3-for-1. Go bar.
Who
or
started
fireworks.
bundles? Insurance companies or
Cable
gaming system companies?
Oh, I think cable companies too.
No, I think it was PlayStation and Xbox that created the original bundle because that's where I think I
There's
first
been-
started hearing the word be effed out was gaming systems because they're like, get the new Call of Duty Xbox bundle.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, I don't want a bundle.
the cable companies have been doing bundles for a while, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, bundle your phone
your
and your
phone,
internet.
cable, internet.
And then insurance,
And cell
Flow.
phone.
Flow does a lot of bundles.
Yeah.
You still have a landline?
I did for my security system.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't just hook it up and not set it like you do.
Yeah. A landline.
I don't think I have a landline, but I do have a security system.
Yeah. No, it goes through the internet.
Yeah,
Fine.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Because every time my router goes down, I get an alert about my
yeah,
security
but if the
system.
internet goes down, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, what's the chances of that?
I have 3 redundancy situations on my home. I have a landline. I have so it's the security system's originally on the internet. I have a landline redundancy situation. I also have a battery backup powered emergency beacon that's inside my closet. That if all power is useless, I have a beacon that will deploy a series of helicopters to come and rescue me and my family.
Now, they already have this, but, and I'm sure this is going to be an end, and, I'm going to kick myself when Safe Touch wants to advertise with us, then I'm going to be totally contradicting
Ooh,
this.
I love Safe Touch.
But we don't need to pay for a monitoring system anymore. We could just have it go straight to your phone. I mean, we have the technology for that. They have it.
Well, I don't want to have to call the police. I'm too busy for that.
But I don't even think that's necessary. In fact, in my entire history of having a monitoring alarm system, every time they call the police, it's been a pain in my ass because they show up and then I'm like, oh, God, one more. I got to pay the fee. I feel like the actual
Pay what fee?
Well, if you
For setting off your alarm?
if the cops come multiple times, they start fining you.
What?
Yeah. That's
that
the thing.
true?
That's taxpayer money.
Yeah,
You
but
already paid for that.
Yeah,
the
but
false alarm,
you're
you're
being
wasting
a
their
hindrance.
Yeah, you're wasting their time because they have to show up. Like obviously, if Safe Touch,
I have never heard of that.
you never. Yeah, I don't. I think it has to get to an absurd point, maybe
Like an egregious
But
level
like
of
if it's a couple times
neglect.
a month and the cops are showing up your house for false alarms,
Do they show up to your house every time your alarm goes off?
if they can't contact you, if the monitoring system can't contact you and be like, "Hey,
They
are you okay?"
automatically
Then
send the police.
They
and
automatically
then-
send the police.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So
But they usually try a bunch of people.
Right.
Like they try.
Yeah, a couple of-
They
yeah.
got the regular number here. I think they've got that line number. They've got my number and Andrea's number.
But if you're bad at life like we are, like obviously,
So you and your wife don't know where your cell phones are.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
phones
yeah.
are ringing crazy. The
I'm
police
just
show up.
Kids are playing on the phone.
It seems like
Exit out.
Yeah.
what. By the way, what burglar is going to break into your house? Their alarm is going off, and they have loud ass alarms. Like I don't know about
Yeah.
your alarm. My alarm is loud as hell, and then gonna be like, well, I'll take the chances that there's no monitoring system or it's not going to the
Well, I
phone
mean,
or
but-
whatever, and then keep robbing. And what is even in your house? Like you go and you try to find some jewelry. If it's in the safe, like you're not gonna steal TVs are worth nothing. You start looking around. You're like, why am I? And the alarm's going off. Like no way anybody's doing
Well,
that.
the reason you answered your own question, the reason that it's hooked up to a monitoring system to call the police is in case they can't get a hold of you. You said just hook it up to my phone. But even with the monitoring system where they're supposed to call you before the police come, you're not answering your phone. So that's not even going to work.
Well, I'm saying it doesn't even need monitoring. The alarm itself is going to scare away any burglar. Who's going to push past the alarm thinking that no one's going to show up?
I don't think it has to do with pushing past the alarm. I think it has to do with my neighbors. I've set mine off multiple times where it's gone off for 5 to 10 minutes and nobody comes over to check on me.
It's just to tell you that it's going off, so you don't.
No, it's going off in the house loud as hell for 10 minutes.
No, yeah, I know. So you're saying,
And no one checked on me. So, myth busted. You need the police to come or the firefighters to come.
well, I'm saying a burglar is if the alarm. There's no way he's going to keep burglarizing
Why
your
not?
house.
Nobody came over.
Well, I'm thinking the burglars are going to be like, oh God, loud alarm. What am I going to steal
Unless
anyway?
you're a seasoned burglar and you know
Or
that
you're on drugs and you're just going to grab what you
Yeah.
can fast and get out of there because you know you've got a little bit of time before the cops show up.
Oh, you're doing the absolute thing again.
I'm not doing it. I'm just saying it seems absurd now that we still
No,
pay for
I-
monitoring systems.
I don't pay for
I will
monitoring. I'm
gladly-
fairly certain I don't.
I will gladly pay for monitoring. But then why even have it?
Just so if someone does try to break into your house, the alarm goes off and it scares them away.
And I do get alerts on my phone.
Yeah.
When
And-
it goes off or someone at my
yeah,
door.
that's all you need.
or- yeah.
I mean, it's like ring.
I disagree. I gotta have monitoring. I don't want to.
Whatever makes you feel safe.
Yeah, I don't want to be in charge of that. You know, like based on your own evidence, you shouldn't even have an alarm system.
I know. I don't even want one.
You shouldn't have one because even
I
if it
don't.
went to your phone, you wouldn't answer it. So who cares?
There's
You
nothing-
should have an alarm on your car.
You should just leave your door open. Just leave everything open and not care about it.
Well, the thing is, there's nothing to steal. I mean, there's literally nothing of value that anybody could run to my house
Well,
and
but
take.
it's going to be an inconvenience. It's not about losing value. It's about like you walk in, you don't have a TV, your house is ransacked. I mean, you're not going to go like, well, there was nothing to steal here, so who cares?
Yeah. No, I understand. I don't want anybody breaking in my house. I just feel that like burglars nowadays is few and far between because what the hell are they stealing? I understand guns
Let's
and
talk
stuff.
to Bus Decker about that because, you know, you're just assuming that there's not burglaries.
Well,
and
there's tons. If you,
Yeah.
I know there's tons, but I'm saying what are they getting?
Anything.
that's worth.
I mean,
well, what?
It could be anything.
Tools.
I mean, look around here. What did they get in here?
Yes.
Cameras, computers, lights.
Right.
It's all not worth anything.
Not to you.
This isn't worth anything? Are you insane?
Well, to them, I'm saying.
Pawn it.
You're
Yeah.
gonna pawn
Sell
a-
it on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace. Sell it anywhere.
Yeah, but they're
Sell
also
it in your neighborhood.
But nowadays,
if you're desperate
Yard
enough
sale.
to steal, you're not weighing out the value of the items you're ransacking.
I think they. I mean,
I don't
you
think
want
you
to
go,
steal
I'm
something.
not going to that house because there's nothing in there. They're desperate. They're stealing whatever they can.
Yeah, but it has to be worth their time and value, right? Like I understand the door checkers. I ranted about this before. At least the door checkers every once in a while will get my wallet because I'm an idiot and I leave my wallet in there, or someone's gun that they put in their glove compartment because there's a lot of people that have guns around in their cars. So and you could pawn a gun pretty quickly and you
like
could take some
laptops,
dollars.
guns, cell phones. Cell phones are big ones.
I don't. Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
People
they
steal
do? with-
phones all the time.
How do you break into them?
We've been through this before. And you just like we give you answers to what you're asking, and you don't believe it.
Yeah.
So then you say we're wrong, and you're not going to rest until you get another answer. But there is no other answer. So you
Stay in your bubble, Tom.
So basically, what you're
Tom.
saying is, no matter what we say to you, you're never changing your opinion. So I just shouldn't argue with you on Facebook right now.
I'm just questioning because, and I brought this up before, and no one gave me a good answer.
Yeah, but let's ask.
You
That's
just
what I'm saying. Let's ask Busdecker to
You're-
talk to his cop friends. Let's see what the most burglarized thing is from a house.
You're
and-
doing what I'm doing is just making up your own answer in your head and then telling me that's the fact, and I'm questioning it.
No, I said that phones that are that you can get into would have value.
You don't even have to get into them. My younger brother's phone got stolen from the accident scene, and there's kiosks in the mall that you can actually sell cell phones to for cash. They'll give you $100 flat out
Yeah, they
For
use it
any
for
cell phone-
for any
parts.
cell phone. You know,
Yeah.
his was actually in lost mode, so there's no way that you could even done anything with it.
So they just sell them for parts. Well,
They
that's
can.
an answer. That's
But
now
I
I'm
think,
like, okay,
but
good.
we already did this.
And there are people that can jailbreak things.
yeah, and like get into it and use it.
But can they?
As long as it's not in a lost mode, it can be jailbroken.
I
think
will
once it's
never-
in lost mode, I
because
think it's
I will
untouchable.
never understand you saying, can they? And we say, yeah, there are guys doing that. And your answer back to us is, but can they?
Well,
Well, we just said yes.
Yeah,
There are certain people in certain styles of phones
Okay,
that
well-
can be jailbroken.
all right. I'm just because I remember the story about the FBI and Apple getting a big argument because Apple refused to open a phone that they
Yeah,
wanted
Apple
to,
themselves won't open it.
And then, but the fact that
I
I'm
can
just doing-
jailbreak this phone. I've jailbroken
Apple
Apple
can
devices
break
before.
open anything. They just won't give the skeleton key out to the government because they're scared it'll just go rampant from there.
Of course, I was just in my mind. I was like, well, if the FBI couldn't open this, potential suspect's phone because he had like a code on it, and they couldn't get through that, I was like, well, then the random crackhead burglar is not going to be able to do it, or the guy at the cell phone fixing store isn't going to. If the FBI can't, so that's the only math I did in my head, and then I was like, well, then it seems to me the cell phones aren't that valuable, but if you're just selling them for parts for $100, that makes sense because then it's like, okay, every phone I get, can I at least get $100 for?
There's an automated kiosk at Walmart you can sell your cell phone to. That's what Grady says.
I know the name of it. I just didn't want to drop it, but yeah, that's
And
one
it doesn't matter
that's when they do it.
any cell phone, even
They
if
do in the mall. They're in the malls, Walmart, anywhere. Yeah,
you don't
Wow.
need
It's
a
like a red
code.
box. Nope.
You just hand them a random phone and
It's
they
like
just buy it.
Yep, you put it in the box and then it prints out, I guess, something. I've never done it before, but I know
Okay.
it's easily done.
All right, well then that makes sense. Then for sure you steal a phone if Walmart gives you $100 for
That's
every
crazy.
stolen phone.
I've never seen that.
To me, that seems a little. It's kind of like why like pawn shops aren't supposed to, take
that,
stolen. They try. The communities usually try to discourage people from making money off stolen goods.
Right. Yes.
So I question. I was like, if Walmart and every Walmart, they're like, hey, turn in whatever phone you found. $100, no question
I'm
asked.
sure it's under the guise of like
not owned by
recycle
Walmart,
your old
Yeah.
phone. Yeah, it's like some third party.
It's a third party. It's not owned by Walmart. It's
I know,
just a
Yeah, but
kiosk.
it's like Coinstar. They just put them in
But
stores.
it's recycle your own phone. Can you do you have to prove that it's your phone?
Well, there's a long process if it is stolen that you go through. I went through it, and it took me about 6 months to prove it, and it had to do with me getting legal
okay, well
paperwork.
then that's
police-
back to it. They're not worth anything.
no, because most
No,
people
but
won't go through that.
Most people won't
Is
go through it. What I'm saying, most people just like write it off. I'm like, all right, whatever. My
whatever
cell
it got
phone's gone.
stolen. Yeah,
No, I'm
Rather
saying-
than trying to get it back.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
right.
with the
Yeah,
wall.
okay.
So, but you could bring a phone to Walmart and then they'll give you $100 to these
They
places.
won't.
The kiosk.
The kiosk will. No questions asked. You don't have to prove it's yours.
I mean,
just,
you're talking to a robot. Yeah. I mean.
okay.
it's a
Oh,
machine.
if that's the case, then for sure it makes it sense to steal anybody's phone if you're going to get
Well, I mean,
$100 for
you
it.
could sell it to a dumb person that just
That's
wants,
true,
you know, I
too,
mean,
yeah.
you can sell it to anybody, you know?
And a lot of these people, I'm
Well,
just
if you
saying, I
can't
know
get-
some people that will buy the phone and it can be stolen and they will just use it for like Wi-Fi purposes at certain places. They don't have to have it activated or any
Well, you
of
need
that.
to get the code to even open it. That's what I'm saying.
Some of them don't
There's
have codes.
some guys- yeah, some
Not
phones-
everybody has an iPhone
Yeah,
either.
some don't have codes. Some guys have programs where they can wipe it. I jailbroke my Apple phone before and made it do things it's never supposed to do.
Okay, I think they're arguing for no reason here. I'm just saying the
Oh,
standard.
I don't think we're arguing.
The
yeah.
standard iPhone, and to me, most people have some sort of either facial recognition or code, 4-digit code, right? So if someone stole my iPhone right now, they could not get in without my code.
I don't believe so.
Or facial recognition.
Correct. I think
or
it's-
very, very hard to for the random. But I could, though, that person that stole it could just take it to Walmart and put in this thing, and kiosk will give me $100.
Correct.
Seems unlikely, only because that makes
Well,
it.
you're not a criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
like
it seems unlikely that program exists because that makes it advantageous to steal people's phones because they'll
But
give you $100 for anything.
But if they go and they gets reported or whatever, like I did, I tracked my phone because it was in lost mode, so I was able to find out where it went to. So it popped up in like Wisconsin or something, and I was like, oh my god, where it's at this location. I went to Google Maps, found out where it was, what the building was called. Found out I called them and said my phone was stolen. Went through this long process, like so
To get it back, yeah.
to get it back. I mean, so
Well, that's not. I mean, the whole.
Yeah,
the,
that's
the-
completely different than what he's saying.
The reason to the person to steal it and to sell it, that makes it now valuable to steal people's phones. I suspected that it was invaluable because it was so hard to get into a phone that had a code on it that it makes it where it's like, all right, you know, because
I don't think it's totally unusable. Like, even in the chat room, Yabba Dabba says, my 80-year-old dad jailbroke his Kindle this week. I bet crackhead Jerry could handle that. That's possible.
But does that mean broke into it without the code? I'm just saying getting past the
yes,
code.
getting like a Kindle, that even if it had a code, there's certain devices you can just get past them by wiping it completely
Factory
clean.
reset.
Yeah, you're just going back to zero, basically. Some of them get bricked, though, when you try that.
Yeah.
It just really depends on what you're doing. But it's still, my only argument, if we want to call it that, is that there is a value there.
Okay.
You know, like, I still think there's value there.
All right.
Like, it'd be the first thing I stole if I were desperate. Cell phone. I'd be cell phone crazy. Well, I'm little. I'd be little cell phone Danny.
Yeah, especially if this kiosk, like Travis is saying, I still think that there's more to proving
Well,
that
let's-
it's yours.
let's go to
do
Walmart
it.
and check it
Let's go
out.
do it.
Let's investigate.
I have one.
Because
Do you want to
I
recycle
feel
one?
like
Tom
I
and Dan investigate.
I have an extra
Let's
cell
do
phone
it.
that's literally worthless.
Let's see how easy or hard it is.
It's an iPhone. Let's bring it here and
We'll
we'll
have-
charge it up and
we
get
can
it going.
have
And
someone that's not you try and turn it in. So we're like,
Yeah, you don't
potentially
know
we
the
could
code,
have we could have stolen the
I
phone.
have an old Android phone that's not even mine. It was Jordan's, and we could try dropping that in. It's unusable, but we could try returning that in.
Ooh,
'Cause
and
it's not mine. It's not anybody's in
Right.
here. It'd be a completely blank slate.
and then I'll report it stolen and you'll go to jail.
Because what I'm thinking is the communities and police and law enforcement do not like any business that thrives off of potentially stolen goods, because then that makes it
That's bad.
a reason to steal those goods, because you could easily flip them and turn them into pain pill money. You know?
Yeah, and if you think pawn shops are still not taking stolen goods, you're fooling yourself.
No, I know they are, but they're the reason I brought up pawn shops is because the local law enforcement has tried to put in things
Sure.
and ways that to discourage pawn shops from taking stolen goods. So it seems weird that there would be kiosks in a lot of Walmarts. It's like, hey, turn in any phone without you even proving that it's yours, and we'll give you cash for it. That makes it seem like now you've made cell phones valuable to anybody who wants to steal them. Bad for society. And why would you let these businesses even be in business if they're bad for society? That's what I'm saying.
Because it's not,
can see that.
it would be potentially the liability is on that third party, right? And so the cops have bigger fish to fry than going after this third party that's putting kiosks in, because it's up to those places to report this phone stolen, and like Butler says, the litigation of going back and forth for 6 months trying to figure this out, most people give up. So it's not like it's a drop in the bucket. People usually give up, and it's not worth their time.
Yeah, I just think that
I am curious.
They would change laws and be like, "Hey, you can't be."
Yeah, that'd be great.
You know,
changing laws is hard. And
it
takes a long
reminds
time.
me a lot of those, like, you know, when they do like gun buyback programs and stuff like that. You know, it's like it's almost like it's laying in that weird gray area of.
Well, that's you know.
I know that that's different, but I'm just
street.
saying that I always think of the same sort of thing because I am curious about what you're saying about you take the phone there. Because I'd like to know how in depth. Are they videoing you the entire time when you put the phone in there?
I don't know. I haven't seen one personally.
Well, everyone's got masks on,
I've
so
seen
it doesn't
one.
matter.
Yeah,
that's
seen
true
one,
too.
but I haven't dropped it off.
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure we'll
tell
get
you
an
the name
email
of
about it, whether it's accurate or
Again,
not.
let's ask Bus. You know, he might know some information on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's got connections.
Ghost of Manute Bull says it's called an Echo ATM. If you want to, or Eco ATM. Yeah. They have a tab on their website for law enforcement.
So look it up and see what kind of if there's no questions asked, or if you at least have to put in the code to verify. That's my whole thing. It's like
I think it just asks you like, is this phone stolen? And you're I think it's as dumb
Right,
as that. I really think it's as dumb as that.
Yeah.
Oh man, really?
Scout's honor, right?
That's pretty awesome. That's hilarious. If that's what it is,
Is
then
this your property?
I'm gonna give this one to Tom.
Okay, so
all right, you got it. It's fine.
They take everything,
I'm
right?
questioning anything Butler tells me.
they
By the way,
take old
there's no
phones.
way it's true.
Did you notice I
no
shut
way
up?
this
I'm
is
just going to
accurate.
sit over here and see where this goes because
Yeah.
now I'm curious.
I've
They
had
take old phones, MP3 players, and tablets. They take basically any small electronic.
All right.
So that even more things can be stolen. It's not just
Let's
cell
grab
phones.
something.
No question. Is there any verification that you have to prove that it's your item?
I'm looking at that now. So it says there's 3 simple steps to the process. Place your device.
Steal it, put it in our box, and walk away.
Says place-
That's the 3 steps.
Place your device in the test station. Just plug it in and let the kiosk do its thing. Don't worry, you'll be able to get the phone if you change your mind during the evaluation process. Echo ATM will examine your device and give you your best price. The kiosk prices each individual device based on the model, condition, and the current value on the market. If you agree to sell it, you will receive cash on the spot. There's nothing saying you have to verify anything.
Well, the evaluation process, maybe that's the verification process. It's like, what is the evaluation process?
So
it probably plug in your phone, put in the code, open it, and then...
That's not the case.
No?
Not with my brother's phone.
we got to do this then. I say it, but we got to do it right. And what I mean by that is, okay, Butler, do you have an extra phone?
I do have an extra phone.
Okay, what we need to do is we need to have somebody steal it from you and then go and put it in the thing.
No, we just put it in the thing.
No, I want to do it. I want to have a whole made up burglar
Dress up like an Acme thief, and
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
need
creep in there.
costumes, the whole 9.
Because to me, all this business did, and I'm sure a lot of people realize this, is that you incentivized or you made it now where phones are valuable and quick turnaround, like pawn cash, you know? So it's like, so now all the door guys that are checking your doors at night and stealing your whatever you have in there, if they see your phone, like before, I would imagine if I'm just looking for loose change and dollars or guns or something I could turn quick, because you could turn a gun quick, right? We all know that. Like, you get a gun, you could sell that for $50 to whoever else, one of your shady buddies. But the phone, to me, I would look at it and be like, well, I'm going to get the phone. It definitely has a code. And then if it has a code, I'm going to have to, like, I can't get into it. Like, it's not worth quick money. But if I knew I could just take it to Walmart and they'll give me $100, then of course I'll take it. I'll take it.
A few more things here. Ghost of Manute Bull says you have to upload your license and it verifies if it's you via camera so they know who's turning it in.
Okay, so now
That's
it makes
a little
more
different.
sense. Yeah. Okay.
That's different.
And the world's right again. You
Feel
guys
better?
are telling me to...
I said I had never seen this thing before. I'm reading into it now.
None of us have
Well,
seen
so
it.
now that you have to upload your license,
Well, let's double check that.
it dissuades people from doing this because
it would dissuade people, but you could
well, if
fake that if you wanted to too,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I mean, there are obviously loopholes. I mean,
I understand you could probably you can get a fake license and you could start, but that's a real. You explained it as like steal the phone, take it to Walmart, put in the thing, give you $100, walk out. Now that you got to put your license and now that's not as easy for the criminal to make the money.
I would
It
always
does say
go
it also
pawn shop.
required by law are equipped kiosks with NIST compliant biometric devices to capture a valid thumbprint. So you do have to provide a thumbprint that they report to law enforcement.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But that's why I
now-
would go pawn shop every time.
Right.
I don't want to deal with a robot. I want to deal with a human because humans are flawed, and I can talk my way into getting $100 for the cell phone.
Yep.
Well,
Seriously, that's what I would do.
the pawn shop's not going to take. You can't go and pawn a.
$100. I mean, the stack of cell phones.
Well,
Not
I
a
don't.
stack.
I don't
no.
know what their process is, but I know people pawn cell phones, pawn their own, but I don't know what the
Yeah, I don't
process
know.
is.
Probably it's like, well, at least you have to open it up so we can wipe it out, and then now it's a usable phone. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, wants to argue today.
Well, I mean, is it that everyone wants to argue, or is it that one of us has this thing where he has to be right?
No, I'm just curious because you guys are giving me half the. You're like, hey, there's a place in Walmart. You put in your phone,
You
$100
keep saying you guys. One
Oh, yeah.
one person said
Travis.
that.
You
And I know
are
it's full-
you are sharing the blame.
He
here.
was BS. I knew it was BS.
That was a BS, and I just know that
He
what
did-
what
Well, that's
happened.
not the whole story because I was like, well,
You're
that
the one
doesn't.
yelling, by the way. I just wanted that on the record.
Everyone else seems very calm.
I'm a little afraid today. You're in a rare form, Mr. Tom
No,
Van.
because you're telling me BS, and then I question it.
All right, Dad, I'm
and
sorry.
And then you're like, well, you're an idiot. What you're saying
No one said that.
is you always want to be right. Why are you questioning this? And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That's why I'm questioning it. And then we find the truth, and then I'm right. So
No,
what?
see-
so
see,
this.
I'm
I would
going back
say-
to my bubble.
I would say you're not right because the kiosk thing. I was never even talking about that. That's way. I'm talking.
I never
about-
heard that, so,
I'm talking
yeah.
about just stealing things and selling them. The original statement was, "Well, there's nothing here to steal. There's no
Right.
value." And my answer to that is, that's crap. There's obviously value in a lot of things here that you could sell.
And people peer to peer sell it to each other. You
these
know?
lights, these mic stands, these microphones, those chairs.
Like if I brought you into the Taft Facebook group,
Oh, they
every day
sell
something is
everything.
stolen. Every day something is stolen from these people.
Yeah.
They're like, hey,
No, I
somebody
understand.
stole
I
was
blah
my,
blah
that
blah.
was my only point. Was that
Yeah.
yes, there is value.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't go with
Or
the
even
blanket
if there's
statement
not, that
of,
doesn't mean people aren't going to steal
like,
it.
what are you going to
Yeah.
steal? My TV's worthless. I know that sounds easy to say, and yes, TVs are extremely cheap now, and you can get a 75-inch TV for $300. I get it, but there's still value there.
Yeah.
and people will still steal.
Yeah, I assume that these people are thinking rationally, and
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not, because I don't even think rationally, and I'm pretty rational.
meth out of your mind, and you're just
Right.
like, I need it.
But yes, you are right on the kiosk. There are way too many catches there, but I still think that somebody could scam it. I think you could still
Yeah,
scam
someone
it.
did say in the chat, like, look, if they stole their phone, they might have stolen their wallet too. They can have their license. Sure, there's loopholes, but there's a thumbprint apparently that they do. You have to provide.
yeah.
So
Now that I don't believe, because I do that at Disney all the time, and now they don't even require it.
Well,
right.
it-
they do have it on file though.
It's
What
I
reason?
don't know.
Yeah. All right. Fine. No
Most
big
people
deal.
in the chat room seem to think that this is digging up like your feelings about your wallet, maybe a little
No,
bit.
yeah, I don't. Listen, I got my wallet stolen from my car. and-
Juan says that the entire argument hinges on the code. You seem to be hung up on the code.
I thought that cell phones.
They say you're sad. Sad Tom is sad.
I'm not sad.
Now they're worried about you.
Well, Butler came in and be like, "Hey, at Walmart, you just go bring any phone in the thing."
I never said a Walmart. I said a
$100.
kiosk. She said they were available at Walmart.
Okay, kiosk, $100, no questions asked.
I didn't say
And
that.
then I
Chad
started
said that.
questioning that, and they're like, "Why are you questioning that? Why do you have to always be right?" I'm like, "Well, that seems odd." And then we dig deeper, and we find out that okay, you put in your driver's license, your thumbprint, there's verification, and then okay, well then now it doesn't make it easy to just sell whatever stolen phone, and then okay, that's it.
Now, does it have to? This sounds extremely complex.
I
think
don't
we're
even
gonna have to
care.
do it.
I don't even care.
We're gonna have to do it.
Well, the thing is, we can't do it because the whole thing is like we can only do it with the phone we own because we have to put our driver's license and thumbprint.
I will still
again,
have-
we
I
can
still
still
have a
try
phone.
that. Let's try it
Yeah.
with his brother's cell phone. He can put his thumbprint because he didn't steal it. Technically, it was given over to him. I'm assuming. So he's not going to go to jail
Found
for
in
it.
the
well,
Junior.
and I'm sure there's a list of phones that are even value. Like an old phone 3 years ago probably worth
Sure.
nothing, right? Like
I don't know.
an old
I mean, they
Yeah,
can part it out though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You get $100 of credit for an iPhone 6 at Verizon, so I'm at least get $100 for an old Android.
That's only if you buy another iPhone, right? I mean, is that not
probably a
they're not going to
promotion.
give you? Yeah. Is that credit towards your new iPhone? Anyway,
Hey, man, if you're going to come in here and sling your alternative facts, you better have them all lined up.
Juan
Hey,
in the chat
my
says
facts are that I had a phone stolen. It was sold to a Eco ATM. I fought it. We got it back.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it did actually get stolen and sold through the ATM.
Yeah.
So I told
So
them
it
why.
happened. So someone got money for that. They put in their license and their thumb.
And this
they,
was 2 years
they
ago.
sold it.
Maybe it's different now. I don't
Yeah.
know. But that was 2 years ago. That's how it
That
happened.
was the sweet spot 2 years ago.
Yeah,
That was when it
was
would
back
have
when-
been
yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
So it happens. I mean,
Yeah.
Juan in the chat says, "Tom, give me your phone and I will reset it and sell it within the hour."
Ooh, now that's
That's
a
a
challenge.
challenge.
Hold on. So Juan, you're saying you can get into my phone?
People can hack into phones.
I
mean,
no
I
problem.
can't.
Easily.
I can hack into your phone. I know the code.
Oh, I'm saying if you didn't know the code. That's what I'm saying. Like, so if I change my
Well,
code to a
wha-
5-digit number, random
Yeah.
number, Juan can hack into it, no problem.
Let's see what he
He
says.
says, "I couldn't care less about your data."
I mean, there are key gens that you could actually.
I will
it
factory reset your phone, he says.
Okay, so that's easy for the layman to do. I mean, Juan obviously knows a little bit. I'm saying he's not a professional hacker, so if Juan can do
Well,
it,
the
then
key thing
it's
is
out there.
the catch with the iPhone, if it's in lost mode, even if he were to factory reset it, you still need to
It
put
does-
the code in to actually activate it and
Got it.
use it. It's unusable. It's bricked at that point.
Gotcha. Once I report it stolen.
Yeah, once you report. But then again, the guts are are a lot. I mean, remember your screen that you were just recently
yeah, I didn't
replaced.
think about
That's
that.
a $400 screen if it's made by Apple, or a $200 screen if it's third party. You mean there's guts that are worth a lot of money in there.
And then it's like piecing out a car.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
It's just like the car itself is too easy to track because the VIN number and everything, but all the parts of it, it's like chop shop or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. all right.
Whatever happened to that guy that ate an entire car?
He ate in a plane too.
I think he died eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. Bad
I
living.
miss that guy.
I hate
Better
all those
days.
oddities.
Yeah.
Well,
He's sitting at the cell phone turn-in station salivating for his next snack, right?
Pooing out a plane. trying to turn it in.
that all turned into social media, right? The oddity people.
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
And then probably put those people out of jobs, right? Because no one cares anymore.
I think so.
Like
yeah.
no one cares if you can swallow a sword, or like I saw 10 swords swallowed.
Yeah,
by
but
this
also
guy and-
swords are not something that we deal with day to day now. So like we don't even care anymore. It's like swallow a sword. Why don't you swallow an iPhone?
We've also seen the most amazing things in a compilation video that we could possibly watch all day, every day.
Yeah.
You know, we see 10 compilation videos a day of 30 people doing insane things that took them years. You know,
Did you see
so we're-
the Masked Singer? They're making now the Masked Dancer.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, so they're going to do a dance version where the celebrity will be, you won't get to
They
hear
learn a
them,
choreographed dance.
but you'll watch them
Enough.
dance.
That's too far.
Well, how can you even
You know
guess?
what? I didn't mean to bring this up to make you more mad.
Yeah, don't make Pop mad.
I know.
Your hair just physically turned white and then back to black. I made you so mad.
The Masked Singer, at least you could kind of hear their voice, so you're like, who is that singing? The dancing, it could be anybody, right?
Well, I guess you'd go off a body style, right? Or maybe the
Yeah, but they're in
costume.
costume,
Yeah, that's
so
what Andrea
it's-
said. Andrea's like, how would you know? Her example was Louis Anderson. Like, would you
You
know?
can tell if it's a white guy. You're like,
Yeah.
that's a white guy. Probably like 80%.
In Spanish, I
chances.
feel like Spanish
Just
people.
by the way they dance.
Honestly, I think black people and Spanish people. It's the stereotype is just their hips move so much better than old
Smooth.
Yeah,
white
yeah.
dads. They
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't. No, white people can dance, and there are people that are good at it. But man, some Latin people, I see them dancing. They look like they're ghosts.
White people excel at cotillion.
They're just like swirling, you know.
It'll be nearly impossible to ever guess, right? I mean, what kind of clues?
They would give clues like in the little video interludes. That's the only way.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
you know, there's no way to know just dancing
Yeah.
in a costume.
The fact that
Bob
these-
Saget was on there, and I watched The Masked Singer when he got, busted off the show. You know, they kick you off after you get voted, and he was like the squiggly hair monster or whatever, and he just raved about how much, how he enjoyed it and how much he loved the show, and I lost about 20% of my love for Bob Saget when I saw that.
Well, yeah, he's an old man
I
now.
know.
You know.
I know.
How old is Bob Saget? 50. 56,
58.
58, yeah,
Somewhere around there, maybe?
late 50s, early 50s, maybe.
Always traveling and
He is 64.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
he looks
yeah.
great then. Never mind.
Yeah, but still, you're 64. it
Yeah, you're
doesn't
right.
seem that old to us now, but when I was in my 20s, we were 64, old man.
Yeah, I feel like an old man now. And my daughter,
No, you shouldn't.
the way that my daughter talks to me though, is as if I am a pop.
Yeah, you're
like-
kids.
Well,
Yeah.
you are to her.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
her.
no, I know,
Yeah.
and it's weird. It's very, very weird because I just want her to be my friend,
Yeah,
and I don't
that's
have
a-
that.
No,
I don't have that. You have that. I don't have that.
Friends of my son.
Yeah, your sons are your friends. I don't have any of that.
That'll change.
Not Tommy. He'll be my friend for life.
I think so too. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to keep
I think
him
you got a good
forever.
one.
I
You gotta-
think you think that, and I just
Don't break his heart. He's having a rough day.
You're right. You know what?
I'm
Best
having a
friends
rough day.
forever.
You're this
Yeah.
close to getting screamed at.
I'm not even screaming. I just. All right. Bye bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's the only one that laughs at some of the things I say that are horrible. Voicemails, emails. Let's jump back into them. Unless you had somewhere you wanted to drive.
No, got nothing.
You got someplace to
nothing.
go, buddy?
Got nothing.
I got my new Christmas tree. I told you guys about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up. No Christmas tree yet?
No, mine's up.
Oh, good,
yeah.
good. Butler, Christmas
I am
tree?
waiting on a Christmas tree skirt. That's the only thing left that I'm waiting on.
Yeah,
We've got a new
I
one.
tried to convince my wife this year to go with the barrel over the skirt.
Okay.
She
The
said,
barrel. I'm not familiar with
okay,
that.
there's a new trend. We can talk about this before we get into emails.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I like the barrel goes around the lower half of the trunk and almost goes up into the tree just a touch. So imagine like a hoop, like an elevated hoop.
Okay. Yes.
And you set your tree in it. And then it covers all that garbagey, like maybe you have light cords in there, or it keeps your cats from running up in there.
So it's a sturdy structure that you put the tree inside
Yes.
of. It's not some sort of like cardboard or plastic that you just.
No, it is metal. The one I
put around,
wanted
okay.
was
Oh, you want the metal ones.
The one I wanted was $22. Was not expensive. It was, excuse me, I believe some sort of aluminum or something, very light
Yeah.
metal. It was powder coated like a brushed black to give it like a nicer kind of a fitted look. So that's what I wanted. My wife wanted instead the other option, which is the traditional cloth tree skirt. My argument was we have 2 older dogs. Nothing in the house should be cloth. The couch should be tile. The walls should be tile. Everything
Yeah.
tile. Old
Yeah.
dogs pee everywhere.
You make a fantastic point, and now I'm regretting buying this Christmas tree skirt. 'Cause
Well,
my dog is pee crazy.
Can you talk to my wife? Because now Maggie the dog, not Caesar. Caesar is too senile to do anything. Caesar is a good dog because he can't do anything. He's basically living but dead.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
Caesar. He does nothing.
Yeah, that's my
Now
dog, but it
Maggie,
pees everywhere.
Maggie pees, poops, and has decided to eat all of her dog food and wipe her mouth on the brand new, more expensive than the barrel tree skirt.
Okay.
Ooh,
What do I
yeah.
do?
All right. So
How do I keep her from eating on it? My wife is already, it's 2 days old.
the
Wife's, 2 days old, the tree skirt. It matches the tree. It's already been washed once because it had yak on it. Like, apparently Maggie the dog ate dog food and then barfed the dog food on the tree skirt.
Yeah, there's no way it's already too far gone.
Okay, that's- I thought you were gonna say that.
The dog's old already. It's stuck in its ways. It's never going to change. Like, you're not going to treat it. You're not going
That's
to.
why I wanted the barrel.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
told my wife, this is a new trend. I've never seen the barrel before. I'm sure it's been a thing and just happened to trickle its way down to little old sleepy Orlando. And I saw it. I'm like, oh, that's great. That'll keep the dogs from crapping on the presents. Sometimes Caesar, when he wasn't senile, used to go over into the presents when we surround the tree with the presents because that's how we do it.
Yeah.
And he'd barf on the presents.
Yeah.
Two problems I see
You know,
with
I'm
the
done
barrel.
with animals after these,
that's what I
these-
tell
Hold
you
on, I
guys.
want to hear him out.
Well, I
You're-
say the same thing about kids, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
Now
They
that
don't
they're in their
barf on
el-
the tree skirt, though.
when
they
I
would when they were babies.
when I make
just kick them away from the tree.
when Crystal leaves me and I make extremely poor financial decisions, I assume that I'll be able to move in with one of my sons and they'll take care of their senile old dad and like put me in the guest room or
I like
whatever.
how optimistic you are.
So but a dog won't do that. A dog is only problems. At least maybe there's a chance that one of my sons will wipe it every once in a while if I need it.
I wouldn't want that.
Well,
that's another-
You say
won't-
that now
won't know
'cause
what's
you can
happening.
wipe it.
No, you won't know what's
No.
happening.
If you,
Don't worry
Exactly.
about it.
if you can't,
Trust me,
good
we'll
to
Well,
have
hire
a-
somebody.
Yeah, but when it's
Yeah, but
happening,
I've
you
wasted
don't
all
know.
my money.
When it's happening, you don't know. You have to lay the groundwork for your sons to wipe your behind.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
early
got a
in
lot of
life.
groundwork,
But
yeah.
you'll never get to witness it because you'll have too much dementia by then. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
put the groundwork in now. And it's a roll of
And
the
hope
dice.
for the best.
And
they'll
hope
do
for
it,
the best.
yeah, they'll do it out of pity, and they'll be like, "Dad's in there somewhere," but I'm not. I don't know what's going on.
We've never been in there.
Two problems. I'm not
I mean,
even there
have you?
now.
I mean, Sam is convinced. As we were walking to Publix and walking back, her and I were having a grand philosophical discussion about
Yeah.
how you and I are both crazy in different ways.
Yeah.
But I mean, obsessed crazy.
I don't feel like I'm crazy, but that's what crazy people say. Anyway, so
I've been saying it longer than you have.
the barrel. Two problems.
Okay,
One,
good. I would blow holes in my barrel. I
One-
mean, don't do that.
It looks good.
seems to be harder to add water to the tree, which has been a problem in the Van household. Now, you have a fake tree.
Yeah.
I'm saying for a real tree because last year, we forgot to add water. We added water at the beginning, and then like 3 weeks later,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, the water. And I ran over there, and it was
Oh.
bone dry.
This is why we shouldn't have a fish tank.
And it already, I know.
What? What are you talking? I put the ornament in the fish tank, and I put the star on top.
And by the time I added more water, it had already started the process.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, ding, ding, ding. And then
No,
all the.
don't touch it. You can't touch it.
I mean, it
No.
was.
No.
And then when I went to move it, because we
No.
were stupid, and we started the whole tradition where we moved the tree, front yard, backyard, it just. Crazy amount of tiny little green
Yeah, needles.
everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Anyway, so hard to add water with the barrel. And second, I see the problem is there's always the present that's stuck deep under the tree
Yeah.
that the quintessential, like, are you sure? Maybe there's one more. And then the kids dig in there and they find one because
So it's taking up space.
it's
is what
taking
you-
up
yeah,
space,
okay.
like,
All
because
right.
with the Christmas tree skirt, you can go all the way up under the tree.
Okay.
And
It gives you more distance underneath for sure. Now, by the way, this is the exact argument my wife made. Exactly what you're saying.
Oh, she's logical.
She is. No, I could have bet. I probably should have tried to guess what you were going to say. That's
Yeah, yeah.
exactly what she said.
guess
It takes up too much space. You can't fit enough gifts under there. I just think it
How
looks
many
nicer.
gifts do you guys have?
Well,
the
It's not
kids.
that big.
No, we
Well, the
put
kids, you gotta-
everybody's under there. Like if I got something for all the relatives, it goes under there. Cards go under there that we're giving away. Cards with money, gift certificates, everything
Are
goes
you
under
looking
there.
at like a massive barrel to go underneath? Because the ones I'm looking at are pretty
Nah, they're
standard.
about the circumference of like, I don't know, what's that? Like a trash can lid?
2.5, 3 feet.
Like a trash can lid.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it does take up a certain amount of room. Though this is better for a fake tree, I will say that.
See,
Yeah.
that's
Real
what I
tree
said.
does because the water factor is like.
Can you not get water in there though?
Well, if the barrel
the
goes
barrel
all the
goes
way up
up,
to the bottom,
You're gonna have to reach in and
you'd have to
or slide it back.
You'd have to use a hose or something to get water down into.
Or you'd have to pull it forward and then reach your hand in there with a tiny can or a cup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
you're right.
adds more difficulty.
But it sure does look nice.
But the skirt, the Christmas tree skirt that we have, is just standard green, like Santa Claus's apron.
Yeah.
and that's
What?
it.
Well, Santa Claus is green
his
while he's
workshop
making toys,
apron.
and he's red while he's
I
delivering
didn't know
toys.
that.
He's got a green workshop apron, right?
Yeah, he wears the green coveralls with the candy cane suspenders when he's making toys, and he wears the red velour or velvet suit. That's his, it's like if you were in the military, you got what you'd wear in the field, and then you got what you'd wear to a military ball, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
always how I've looked at it.
Because we're gonna
Don't call me cuz.
We're gonna do. I'm sorry. I like
you've been
to,
doing that lately. It's a weird Dog the Bounty Hunter vibe. And you've also been calling me Youngblood.
Yeah.
You said,
brought
get in
a-
here. We got him. I got a new suspect, cuz.
We're looking to possibly get a tree from 2C's Trees.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you
Yeah.
were starting TC's trees to compete with
I
2C's.
should have started.
Yeah, he waited too
The
long.
pandemic.
You missed the deadline.
Next
Great
year,
job.
I'm gonna
Great
do it
job.
next
You
year.
missed all the deadlines.
Yeah.
Don't bring it up.
I was gonna
I know.
start, but the pandemic happened,
You're
and
right.
I postponed.
Okay, so you're going real again. Because you guys are a real tree family, correct?
Yeah,
You'll be
yeah.
real tree until you die.
Oh yeah, Crystal's stuck in her ways too.
Also,
She's
all
worse
you
than
Which
I
is
am.
weird to me.
Also,
but
all you guys wear is real tree camo too, which is really weird. You guys love it. And bucked up hats. All the
I
little...
had to scrape my Salt Life stickers off because
Yeah. They'll come back, though. They'll
But
come back.
anyway,
Hopefully they'll do Mrs. Dash Life.
is there some sort of chemical that I can add to the water right when I get the tree that
Yes.
preserves it longer?
I'm going to say yes. And this is your
And
thing.
is
You're
it
a plant
BS?
man. No, you're a plant man. I guarantee you there's science behind this.
Well, there's stuff that they have for flowers. They usually, like, you buy flowers for your girlfriend or old lady at Publix or Winn-Dixie. Because
I like the ones that they dye them. You know, like you cheated on your girlfriend and you give her a bouquet that's fluorescent pink carnations.
Yeah.
Literally, there's no such thing like that in like nature at
Yeah.
all.
So they all come with a little pack. A little, it's like a keep the flowers longer pack. And
Yeah, plant food.
It looks like salt or whatever, or some sort of like granules.
It's what Seth Petrozelli eats.
Yeah. And then you sprinkle that in the water. Does that work? Like I want to tell myself, is it
don't
just a
know.
placebo? It could just be nothing.
You
Right?
know what? The first couple times I saw Andrea
What does it do?
doing that, I was like, why is she cutting open those little silica gel packs they put in there to keep things dry?
No, yeah.
I was like, my wife is crazy.
It looks like so.
But it's plant food, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you. But
Is it plant food?
I think that's what it says on the package, if I remember.
Now, we said before we started this segment that we weren't going to do any questioning, but we are questioning right now. And
I'm
that's
out.
okay.
I gotta go.
So I don't know if this is.
I can give
Yeah,
you
but you're
solid
passionate
question.
about plants,
Yeah, you're a plant man.
and I don't want
Well-
you to yell at me if I say
No.
something. And
I don't know anything
You don't
about
agree with it.
plants once you cut them. Just like a tree. It's
You
like,
got to
I
put
don't-
your tree in water, it says, immediately, as soon as you get it home.
okay,
Yeah. Okay, I assume that. but-
Trees can absorb as much as a gallon of water in the first 24 hours, so it's crucial that your tree stays well hydrated. As soon as you bring your tree home, set it up in a sturdy tree stand with a generous water reservoir that holds at least a gallon of water.
Well, how long has it? Why don't they have them in some sort of water at the tree stands? Because how long have they been sitting out of water there? You know, and then the shipping process and stuff. So, like, do they go weeks with it being dry?
You should
and then
also
they suck
use.
up water.
Do you have LEDs?
What do you mean, like lights?
Yeah.
I think
Don't-
everything's LED.
You
now,
got to
right?
use LEDs.
Yeah.
Well, not me. I try to get the most out of my lights. I'm cheap on that, and I like, which is stupid because lights are like $1 for 100 million LEDs.
Yeah.
But I try to get the most out of it. Well, Andrea actually tries because she doesn't like to waste
Well, your tree has the built-in.
LEDs. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it didn't. The old one.
Okay, you wrapped it with something.
Well, we had to remember because the the regular ones were incandescent; they were burning out. So we had to
Gotcha.
fill in the spots. But they say don't use those type of lights. You use LEDs, not the standard old school style, because they will dry it out more because of heat.
So I'm sure they sell a product that you mix in with your Christmas tree water to make the tree last longer. But is it BS or does it actually make it last longer?
I mean, it depends on, and how would you even regulate that? Like, how would you even know what it does? It'd have to be.
No one knows what it does. It's just magic powder.
Well, I
you put
mean,
in
if
there.
it's,
but that's what I'm saying.
but
Is
if
it just BS?
If it
Let's
gave you
throw some
like,
cocaine in there.
if it gave you like an extra hour with the tree, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, does it
Right.
count?
And then will regular water? I mean, there's only way to make this.
What if I put Gatorade in there with some electrolytes? Better?
Well,
Better for the tree?
the only way is do an experiment and do one with water, one with a
I
thing.
feel a Dobson experiment.
But I don't know who's going to do that. I'm sure someone's done it online, but it's hard to trust. Is the person that's doing it online selling the damn product? That's the thing.
Here are a few that come from the old Farmer's Almanac. Now we're talking.
Okay, yeah.
This is some tried and true old toothless ignorant person BS. This
Okay.
is all stuff that probably doesn't work at all. Just farmers have said, hey man, you gotta do that.
Okay.
One of them is to only feed your tree Sprite.
I've never heard that.
So what's the?
I don't know.
Is it the sugar? It just likes.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things with sugar in it. Why just Sprite?
Yeah, I guess if maybe because Sprite has the least amount of the other stuff, the dyes or something like, or maybe you could do Mellow Yellow. I'm sure. Or any maybe it's-
Squirt? Can I use Squirt?
Yeah, maybe it's any clear soda with sugar in it. I mean,
Oh, okay. So here's all the myths. That's a myth, by the way. I was reading
yeah,
incorrectly. So Sprite does not work, but this is kind of falls into your category of misinformation. So for years, people have been saying that you need to fill the stand with People have said a little bit of bleach, corn syrup, aspirin,
A little bit of bleach.
sugar to the water, tree preservatives, additives. They say all of that is completely unnecessary, just water.
Okay, yeah. So everything that they
Is
sell
crap.
is all are the flour things BS too. Under the
mean,
same logic, it probably.
Again, we said we weren't going to question things, and now
Yeah,
we're
we're already
looking
there.
up
We're down the
all-
road.
everything.
Look, we're already
I'm in
down there. We
questioning
ran,
mood.
we ran out of gas.
That's all people want to know.
Can't stop the question.
Because the thing is, I put the additive in the flours every single time.
I do too. I'd like
I
to
do
save
too.
a
But
step. I'd like to save a
Yeah,
step.
I just punt that in the trash if it doesn't make a difference. Now, impossible to know unless I had a sample group, a one with it, one without it, see if the flowers last
Yeah,
longer.
no, I'm with you.
Maybe since they're more delicate, like a tree, it's sucking up a lot of water. A gallon of water, like that's a
That's a
gallon
lot.
of milk.
But when they said a gallon in your tree stand, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, growing up, we always had a real tree. There's no way in hell that any tree stand that the Dennis family used could ever hold a full gallon of water.
It's pretty. It's a.
The red and green one, the metal with the little eyeballs.
Yeah, that's what I have.
All right, this is Ask the Expert. Do
Yeah, but
plant
who-
food packets really work?
But
And
who's
this is-
the expert?
She's a woman that's been a florist her whole life.
All
right?
right. All right. So
She
she's
says,
sad.
my advice, there are a few different manufacturers of, quote, flour food packets. But no matter what the brand, the name of the product is by far the best option for extending the life of fresh cut flowers in a vase of water. Old wives' tales include aspirin, pennies, clear soda, or bleach, just to name a few.
Oh,
None
Sprite
of these
and
work.
aspirin again.
None of these work as a professionally balanced solution. Flower food has been developed by experts in both botany and chemistry, and it provides the perfect blend of what a plant needs to continue its life cycle after being removed from the mother plant. This blend includes and contains a sugar element to feed the flowers, an acidic element to prevent bacteria from growing in the water, and an absorption enhancer to keep the stems drinking fresh water. Don't just toss those packets in a junk drawer. Mix them with fresh water and enjoy a long-lasting vase of flowers.
Okay, so it does work.
All right. I'd like to argue that botany. I think it should be called planology, and botany should be reserved for people that build robots.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah.
That's
The flower industry. It seems so bizarre that it still exists nowadays, right? Like
I love flowers. I'm a sucker for
I
them.
know. I still get Crystal flowers. She enjoys it. It's
It
like
is amazing how much more I like my home, and I'm being dead serious. If Andrea Maisie likes flowers, I never buy them. I'll get them for Andrea for special occasions, but she's told me, and you will back me up. She's pretty logical. She's like, "Don't do that. Don't waste the money." She doesn't
I
like
like
waste.
that.
She doesn't like wasting money.
Crystal's
but
not that.
If Maisie wants it, she'll buy it. And when they fill the house with a couple of little arrangements, it makes it way better.
It does.
Like, goes under that upping the quality of life thing. Like for whatever reason, it makes the house naturally smell good. It doesn't have that weird almost like it's too
Perfumey,
clean.
yeah.
Like almost like a bleachy or
Like a chemical.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
chemical smell. It just naturally makes the house feel better, and that's why I like this plant over here.
I
Thanks for fixing
am a
that today.
proponent for real plants too, but why don't the fake flowers give you the same sense? Maybe because you know that they're not going to last forever.
But what if
so
you
then-
didn't know? Have you
Well-
ever been in a place? I'll tell you who gets me sometimes, like a Kobe. I haven't been there in years. But you walk in, you see the little koi pond. Some of those are real and some of them are fake.
The
And
fish?
sometimes, no, the plants. that
Oh,
they have.
yeah.
And sometimes the plants will get me. I'll be like, oh, that's real. And then you'll touch it. You'll be like, oh, it's not. But I wonder if I would have the same reaction if I just didn't know.
See, it kind of goes the opposite with real and fake plants because they've made fake plants look so good that now your real plants look like garbage.
Because they're not perfect.
Too
You're
nice,
right.
yeah.
He's right.
Because they're like usually not as full. I mean, the fake, if you buy like some sort of gigantic monstera or like a plant that's super popular that's fake, it's going to be perfect and
Yeah.
be like, wow. But then the real one, you have to work hard,
Yeah.
and then it's like,
And even then, there are irregularities.
yeah, and then it's like, oh, it's getting a little. I didn't feed it enough or water enough, and it's like not. Then you have this beautiful fake one,
Yeah.
and then your real ones look like garbage. But the flowers, the fake flowers, they don't
For
give
a
you the.
split second, I thought you were talking about breasts.
No, yeah. The breasts, I have a whole different argument about that.
Okay,
Because that thing
wait,
makes-
well, do we have to go?
Yes.
so-
Oh.
bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're going to jump into your voicemail messages right now. If you want to leave one, 1-844-TOM-NDAN. That's 1-844-TOMNDAN or show@tomanddan.com for emails. You can also get our app and leave us a mediocre message. Let's try this one right here. It has to do with spam bots.
So do they make an app yet that is a robot for spam callers? Like you can answer the phone call and then have the robot app talk to the spam caller for you? I don't know. Seems like a pretty good idea. Call like Spammerbot? I don't know. Hit me up later.
Would the point of that just be to waste the scam caller's time?
I would assume so.
So you just have an option to like hit it with the answer with the robot?
I believe they've had that. I had it. I had one for a while that on my iPhone. It didn't work very well, but you download this app and then it would, if it detected a number that had already been flagged by somebody else as a spam call, it would kick it immediately to voicemail, and then it would answer with a fake voice, and you could do whatever you want. Like, you could leave a recorded message. So, of course, I got on there, and I'm like, hey, man, and then the guy would talk. It only worked, like, maybe twice, and it wasn't funny, because normally the person's like, oh, yes, I would have, they just hang up because they're mad at you.
I feel like most scammers now immediately hang up when they sense that they don't have you on the hook or you're messing with them or whatever. They used to be able to put, like, they would, no matter what, stay on the line, try to close the scam or whatever, because we saw it. We were messing with them.
It's a shotgun shell effect, right? You have to scatter your calls. You can't just try as hard as you can on each one, right? You got to just keep going fast and do as many as you can.
Right.
You know what changed
Numbers
it?
game.
I bet you it was because everybody started to do it, because now you could put it up in your social media as a way to show other people you're messing with them.
Yeah, I want to say like 3 years ago or so when we first got in here, there were people that were constantly uploading their YouTube videos about like, this guy gets back at a scam caller.
Yeah. That was a new. So then I think because everybody started to do that or tried to do it.
And just wasting their time.
Then the scammers immediately will hang up, because we've tried it now where Daniel starts trying to mess with them and then they'll send something and then hang up immediately.
Norm in our Twitch chat room, we're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/TomandDanLive. He says he still answers every scam call and he asks the scammer their favorite porn star.
You're wasting your life, Norm.
I think it's kind of fun.
Does that give you gratification?
I
mean, otherwise he's just in the Twitch chat. So.
yeah. I guess you don't got much going on, Norm. I apologize. I know you're one of the Tom Vanners, but I gotta say,
I got
not very busy.
On our landline, we get scam calls. We don't have we have the ringer up, but it'll light up. And I got May into it. If she sees it light up, she'll go over there and answer it and do a voice. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome because she sees me do it. Now Andrea says exactly like you guys are so similar on some things. It's so crazy. She also says that you drive her crazy, which I laugh at because she drives me crazy. But she Andrea hates it. She's like, "Why are you guys doing that? We're in the middle of dinner." And me and May are like, hello, we're all,
I like the jokes. What it drives me crazy, what you do is you try to tell them to stop calling and take you off the list.
And
then I'm
like,
there's
no, do the serious thing.
We're
He
do the
doesn't
serious
like it.
thing? Okay,
That's what I'm like.
But I'm not really serious. I'm just trying to make them feel bad.
Yeah, but I'm like, they don't feel bad. There's no list. You're wasting your life. Now, messing with them, there's at least comedy out of it.
Okay, I see
and
what
then
you're
I'm
saying.
like,
Still
all right.
wasting your time, though.
Yeah, but you're getting comedy.
Yeah,
so
you know what? I understand you a little bit better now that you've
to make
explained
you,
that.
It's like just by telling him and reprimanding them and telling them how could you do this? You're wasting. Please take me off the list. Why are you wasting my time?
Yeah,
I just don't even pick up.
Yeah. Now
That's
it's just
the correct thing to do.
You hit, just hit red.
I don't know, hit anything. I just look at it ring.
Okay, well,
I don't like it to ring out. I don't like it because my watch will still be doing it, so I gotta tap it.
Yeah, they're wasting my battery, scammers. Just exit out. And now it's literally anybody who calls you is always a scam.
But I got the weird one yesterday where they cloned the number. That's scary. I hate that.
Yeah.
And Andrea was calling me. And we were here. I mean, you guys were getting ready. Everybody's getting ready to take off.
They cloned Andrea's
Remember
number?
when you and I were leaving and they cloned it and then I got a call. I go, remember when I picked up the phone and I'm like, hello? And you were about to walk out. That was not Andrea. I thought it was.
A scammer?
It was
I never had that one.
Somebody from China speaking, straight Chinese.
China? I've never heard of I've always India.
No, I this one like Chinese number or particular scammer has my number because I get it Every month I'll get the same one. I recognize it.
Okay. Tell me if you think this. Okay, we gotta go, right?
Well,
we're
we
doing
gotta
it
go
again.
in like 3 minutes.
Okay, so
you got
real
3
quick.
minutes.
So
Wrap it up, man.
did companies have to pivot from where their call centers are legitimate?
I think so.
Because now people are so accustomed to getting scam messages from Indian call centers that anytime they now hear an Indian's person's voice, they assume it's a scam.
Well, there was a huge bust too. Remember, like,
well, the IRS scams.
yeah. So I think they probably
if
have
you're-
to shift.
If you're like Google or just giant company, Home Depot, and you need like they outsource their call centers now because it's so much cheaper, and a lot of them are in India. But I wonder if they're, as a company, you're looking at like, man, now when people call us, they get the Indian call center, and people, because of scammers, have now associated that with
Yeah.
scams, and they don't want to tell them anything or deal with them. I bet that
Maybe,
may
but then
happen.
there are also like a lot of customer service, legitimate companies also put their customer service from India. So sometimes when you're calling, it is actually legitimate, you know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I wonder if they want to not use Indian call centers because their customers are going to associate it with scams, because that's what happened. If anybody calls me, even if it's legitimate and it sounds and they have an Indian accent, and this is just because the amount of scams that I got, and I hear a call center in the background, like a bunch of chaos, I immediately think scam. I think everybody does, right?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think most people do. Yeah, I think that's why most people don't pick it up anymore.
So if you're a legitimate company, I wonder if you're like, I'm not going to use anybody with an Indian accent
It's
because
cheaper though.
Are there any
It is, but I don't
companies?
know.
Are there any companies that have ever tried? And man, I'm telling you, you'd waste a lot of money because you got to think like, time spent, money spent, on working on it. But couldn't you come to America and find a bunch of homeless or people that like are really, really impoverished? They need help, and you get them, you hire them, you take them to wherever, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, wherever you got to go. You make a call center of Americans, expats, relocate.
Yeah. All right, I like this. I was about to say you minimum wage and benefits. Okay.
No, they need it.
Yeah.
These are homeless
Yeah.
men and women from Orlando,
but
and
they
you
have
and
American
I,
accents
and you
and
and I,
stuff. Okay, I'm going now.
TND Media, we wrangle these people
yeah,
up.
yeah.
We put them on a really nice. We get Scott York to help us rent some buses.
Yeah,
We
buses.
bus them to
Mexico.
our MCO. We go over to the airport.
Oh no, yeah, it's easier. The plane flight's too expensive. Bus them straight to Mexico.
Okay, we'll get on the plane.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
on the plane. You and I fly to
You can-
Mexico.
you can do
Sounds
any-
like human trafficking now.
We
That
fly-
might be
no,
No,
better.
we're
they
trafficking
wanna do
bums
it.
into Mexico.
Yeah, so we fly to
Right.
Mexico. You and I land. We get off
That's
the
fine.
plane. Sam and Butler, they were each on a bus. They were chaperones. Sam's on bus one,
Yeah.
Butler's bus
Oh,
two.
I don't want to.
We'll give you a rusty revolver. So
Yeah.
you, if they,
Stand down!
Yeah.
And if anybody does anything, all you got to do is click it a couple times.
yeah.
So they get off the bus, and then we have this warehouse set up.
Yeah.
We put all of our homeless guys in there. Next to the warehouse, we built 2 barracks, one for ladies, one for men.
There's got to be a bar or some sort of poisons around. We got
to get them hooked on something.
Yeah, well, they're already. We got to keep them alive by keep feeding them Keystone.
Yeah, we need more of that. We need more of that Mexican red dog.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
out on this plan. I'm
Oh.
out.
Oh, I knew you were out.
Butler, get in here.
Butler's definitely
Butler,
in.
get in here. You got to handle 2
Ah.
buses now.
Butler's dressed like a bus driver.
He's already got his hat on.
Yeah. You're down to bust some bums down to Mexico?
Oh
Of course
my
you
God.
are.
Let's do this thing.
Yeah. There it is.
But you see what I'm saying? So then,
Yes.
then we start making calls. You get a scam call. You pick it up. You're like, hello? And you're like, hello? This is Steven.
They'll never suspect
And
it.
they're like, wait a minute.
This is not a scam call. No way.
No.
Yeah. You never get a scam call from an old American. This doesn't happen.
Like
right?
you got a sweet old homeless grandpa calling you, and you're going to do everything he says.
Honestly, has anybody in the last 10 years gotten a scam call from an old white guy?
No. And if I did, I'd give him all my money.
You know
what I mean?
That's what we need to do.
All I need is a familiar American voice on the other line.
yeah, we're
And I'll give
scam
him
crazy. But then
I'm so stupid.
they revolt and
Well, no, they won't revolt because
then
we'll
the
have
cartel
no.
gets involved.
No, we have a series of collars around their neck, and if they get
Oh,
past
yeah.
the fence, it blows their head off. Universal soldier.
I think that's what Write that down, Travis. Start
I don't
building
know
the
how
bomb
we're
collar.
gonna build it, but I'm gonna need like 45 bum bombs. The collars.
That's the name of my punk rock band.
45 bum bombs.
All right. Bye-bye.